Hello, welcome to Maricel's Kitchen. Today we're going to make a Filipino favorite called Lumpiang Shanghai using plant-based meat. Would it be as delicious? So today I went to my local grocery and I looked for this brand, Beyond Beef. This is what we're going to use for our Lumpiang Shanghai. I got it frozen and I thawed it for a couple of minutes. And let's see. Let's put it in this container. And it really looks like beef. I'm going to take some of this and I'm going to saute it and see how it's going to taste by itself. So let me heat up my pan. I'm just going to drizzle it with a small amount of oil so that it won't stick, probably. And here we go. It's going to saute a little bit and see how it would come out. So I put some oil in here. I heated the pan. Would it look like ground beef? Right now, I'm after the flavor of the product and the texture. Per the instructions, it would cook between 5 to 8 minutes. Now it's really looking like ground beef. It actually smells like beef, sauteed beef. That's incredible. It's actually good. And this is just plain, no seasoning. It's really good. The texture is there. So now I'm ready to make my Lumpiang Shanghai and see how it works with other ingredients with it. So let's get started. We're going to make Lumpiang Shanghai using our plant-based meat. So for today, I actually use 1 package or 1 pound of the plant-based beef. I have chopped some carrots, some water chestnuts, onions, garlic, white pepper, flour, and egg, and of course, salt to taste. I'm adding the water chestnuts, and then I'm adding carrots. Now I'm adding our chopped onion, small onion. Make sure it gets combined with all the meat, the plant-based beef, or meat, I should say. And we're adding, of course, garlic. We can't forget garlic. Smells good right now. Of course, the garlic and the onion makes a big difference, you know, when you're making Lumpiang Shanghai. Some garlic smells so good. All right. Now we're adding our ground white pepper. I like using white pepper. I think it has a bolder flavor, and of course, it kind of like disappears on your mixture. You don't see those black spots. So I love using white ground pepper. And a pinch of salt. You know, you don't want to make your Lumpiang Shanghai salty because you're going to dip it in a nice chili sauce, sweet and sour chili sauce. Now I'm going to crack 1 egg with this mixture. When cracking an egg, I usually put it in a separate container so that to avoid any shells that would go into my mixture, or to make sure that the egg is actually fresh. So just add it in there and just mix it. Now, looking at this, it really looks like beef or pork. Last ingredient I would add into this mixture would be flour, plain flour. It's actually the binder for the mixture. I'm going to add a little bit more, although it seems that it doesn't really need it as much. So now, let's taste this to make sure if we have the right seasoning, or if it needs a little bit more salt or pepper, then we could adjust the flavor. Let's heat up our pan. I'm gonna try our mixture without a wrapper and see how it actually holds. The packaging says you have to cook it between 5 to 8 minutes. Oh, it's actually smelling good. It smells so good, right? Smell it? It smells so good. Now it's ready to be flipped. Oh wow, look at that. That's a perfect color. I like that color. It's actually the same when I make the mixture with beef or pork. This is what color I'm looking at or looking for. It really looks like it. I am happy. So I think this is done. Now, if you want to make this dish as vegan, omit the eggs. Then I think it would totally hold its shape. All right, I'm ready to taste it. Now, this is just the exact color when I do my tasting with pork or beef. It is actually really, really good, and it smells terrific. So let me see how it tastes. Actually, you could also add corn to this now that I'm thinking about it, to add more flavor to it. It is really good. I have to say, you wouldn't notice the difference. I love it. It's really good. I love it. So we're ready to wrap our Lumpiang Shanghai. And I have here some egg roll wrappers, extra thin. All right, so I'm gonna use our plant-based beef or meat. Just mix it up and let's start wrapping. Take out the big stuff in there. So when you try to roll this, make sure it's a bit tight, all right? The wrapper is actually pliable, so you could stretch it a little bit. And make sure the seam is really, really sealed, all right? So there's one. I'm gonna make another one. So we're gonna start with our egg roll wrapper. Get about 1 big spoon full of mixture. Try to make sure it goes by the edge of your wrapper and start rolling. Fold and push it back to make it tight. All right, and then keep on rolling. And there you go. And at the end of the wrapper, try to wet it with just plain water. All right, some people put some flour and water to seal it, but I don't need to. And just make sure it's really sealed by the edge. All right, and there you are. Now we're ready to fry our Lumpiang Shanghai. Let's turn on our heat. Put it in a medium heat. Don't make it too high because it would burn your wrappers right away and then the inside is not cooked. So make sure it's medium high temperature, all right? So as you can see, we don't put a lot of oil into it. You know, you don't really have to deep fry the Lumpiang Shanghai. So, and I'm just using corn oil, canola oil would be good, vegetable oil, but not olive oil. How to make sure your oil is hot is when you dip a wooden stick or spoon in your pot, and if you see bubbles around it, then it's going to be hot. But right now, you still need more, maybe a few more minutes to get it really hot. I think our oil is hot, so let's try one of our wrappers, our egg rolls, and see. It's hot. Hear that sizzle? Could put the 3 of them here. So when you're frying, you don't want to touch it all the time. Let it fry itself to get to the color that you want and to the internal temperature of 165 to 170 if it's pork or beef. But because it's a plant-based beef, 145, 150 would be good. Lumpia, Lumpiang Shanghai in the Philippines is a mainstay in everyone's home. Growing up, everybody likes Lumpiang Shanghai. You go to parties, there's always Lumpiang Shanghai. And I believe I've never introduced Lumpiang Shanghai that people didn't like it. They loved it as soon as they tasted it. Now these are done. See how nice and brown looking they are? Golden brown, I should say. Put them and drain them in here. So now they're perfectly done, golden brown. That's what I was looking for color-wise. And we're going to cool them down for a bit before we start cutting them in pieces. Usually I cut them in 4, and this would be excellent with the sweet and sour chili sauce. I can't wait to taste it, really. Crunchy. Let's see how it looks inside. Wow. It really looks like the normal, regular Lumpiang Shanghai. Amazing. It smells so good. This is exactly how it looks when it's really the pork or the beef inside. I can't believe it. It's wonderful. So let's see. OMG. It is so good. You wouldn't even think that it's not pork or beef that you're having. Totally recommend this product. I love it, love it, love it, love it. I've used Beyond Meat. This is Beyond Lumpiang Shanghai. It is so good, I tell you. This is Maricel from Maricel's Kitchen. Hit subscribe and click the bell so we could cook together again. See ya. Bye.